everybody, how's it going? We are back again for 3 hours. Just got my second time seeing Zombieland Double Tap. So we are going to get into it. Mike, hit him with a synopsis.
All right, so this is Zombieland Double Tap. Takes place 10 years after the original. We're back with our favorite zombie slayers: Tallahassee, Columbus, Wichita, and Little Rock, played by Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, Emma Stone, and thank you.
Okay.
As they
I think about it too. Don't worry.
As they square off against a newly evolved undead. I'm gonna let you go first, since you said you saw this twice.
I did see it twice. The first time I went to go see it was the most pissed off or simultaneously fun I had in a theater. I saw that freaking countdown trailer about 6 times because of this malfunction that was happening at the theater, and I wanted to bash my brains into a wall.
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
I've never had issues with this theater before. I was visiting my youth pastor. His family's like a second family to me, and they're at the theater getting ready to watch it, and like it got past the countdown trailer, and then just kept cutting to black, and like they had issues, and they kept restarting it, and I'm just like, what is going on? And then it started playing finally after like 20 minutes of trying to figure this out, and there was no video. I'm like, turn the sound off if you're gonna try playing it. I don't want to hear anything. What are you doing? But yeah, it was good. It was great. It was awesome that it left off 10 years later when we're watching the movie 10 years later.
I agree with that big time.
But it somehow looks like the only person that aged was Abigail Breslin.
Right?
Like Woody Harrelson gained a more noticeable short handlebar mustache. Other than that, just Emma Stone and Facebook. Eisenberg, don't age.
Yeah, like I think he's the one who looks more the same than the rest, which is scary.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a whole lot of just it felt like a lot of the same things. They had a lot of cool stuff. They started off again with Metallica and
yes.
slow motion, the credits falling apart, stuff like that. It was a very natural understanding what came before you and then moving forward. We'll get into positive stuff like that, but your initial thoughts and stuff.
This may be an unpopular opinion, but I kind of like this movie a little bit more than the original. Both are very funny. It's the cast that kind of like makes the movie, and the writers. I can see where Ryan Reynolds was attracted to these guys to do Deadpool.
Oh yeah, and why did that show? Was it on Netflix or was it on Amazon?
Amazon, I believe.
Did it not even make it to the pilot? Like they didn't even show the pilot?
Nope.
No, that's not.
It failed even the pilot.
All right. Anyways, keep going.
Yeah. Okay, so you know how sequels to comedies that are like 10 years later, like you're always worried that you're going to get another Caddyshack 2 or a Blues Brothers 2000.
Oh god. Yeah.
Like literally until I was like sitting down in my seat, like the whole drive to the theater, I was picturing every worst case scenario. And fortunately that never happened. Like, yes, a lot of this movie kind of plays out very similar to the original, but but because I love these characters, it just felt fun to see them in action again.
It did, and it's like if anyone is like it's going back to Deadpool, you could do a lot exact chop and cuts at certain points in the movie, and there's a lot of things that are played out the exact same way from the first one to the second. Sequences even and I still love both of them. It just, as long as you understand what you are good at and what makes these movies good, it's okay to kind of tread in the same water. When I believe it was the Honest trailer said it best, where it's like these movies are basically collections of skits from TV episodes that were smashed together to make a movie, because that's what it was originally supposed to be.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's kind of what they went for again, and I'm very okay with that because it works. Go ahead.
I want to just jump right into the positives, because to be honest,
fine.
it's like when it comes to reviewing comedies, it's hard to say what you like about it without
doing the bits.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm good with that.
So let me start with like the one that everyone's talking about. Zoe Deutsch as Madison, the new girl.
Madison. I was so happy they ditched her for a third of the movie, because I think it would have been overdone if they would have kept her through the whole Elvis scene and stuff like that.
Agreed.
And then they got her back when they were done. I'm like, that was really smart.
I think visually, I knew that she wasn't going to be like a zombie, because I think her name was like not top billing, but in the opening credits. So I knew she was going to be in it longer, but I honestly think she gave one of the best like comedic performances of the year. Second to Billie Lourd in Booksmart.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
for sure.
She brings that sort of manic energy, and it's hilarious.
Yes. She was I thought honestly from the trailers that I was gonna hate her, but I ended up loving her at the end of it. So I'm like,
I'm also a little bit biased.
Laffy Taffy's back.
I'm also a little bit biased because Zoe Deutsch is like one of my favorite actresses and kind of something of a crush, but nevertheless, it's still a great performance.
Yes. They going back again for positives. They had a lot of callbacks in this movie. Like they point blank say like the Nut Up or Shut Up, that line is so 2009. I'm like, ha 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 ha. Get it? It came out 2009. If it would have been in any other movie, I would have thought it was dumb. But in here it was funny. The thank God for rednecks when the monster truck comes by, brings that line back. That was awesome. They had him get his caddy again, and then had him lose it again. He never gets to keep his caddy. The writing number 3 on frickin' everything. Yes, it was great. It's just they upgraded it from Zombie Kill of the Week to Zombie Kill of the Century. And
it starts as Zombie Kill of the Year.
Zombie Kill of the Year. I'm sorry. And like the one with the tractor. The tractor. I was like, all right, that was pretty good. And I just watched VelociPastor with my youth pastor. So the way that the Leaning Tower of Pisa kill happened, I thought was going to happen differently. Like I thought those people had explosive laced in them, and that's how they were going to go.
No, it's just the tower. The tower just
he tipped over the tower with a car jack.
How is that even possible?
I was just like, okay, it's a small building. Zooms away, and it's the actual Tower of Pisa. Are you kidding me? Oh, another another callback they did. His insane fear of clowns even brought that back for a tiny snippet. But what else? They brought back. They have to and if they make a third one, which I hope they will, and I hope it's kind of how I believe it was Emma Stone that said it, is that they could kind of make the Boyhood trilogy of zombie movies.
Ooh.
I think it was her that made a comment like that, where they just keep showing them in further development, especially now since they have another tag along for Tallahassee. But they what was I gonna say with that? They had a new ongoing joke. Like the first movie, Tallahassee had Twinkies.
Yep.
Now we had the Aztec van. No, the transport van.
Yep.
And he just could not get away from it. And it was amazing. Woody Harrelson can get away with saying some stupid shit that absolutely nobody else can get away with saying.
Wait. I need to talk about my favorite scene in the movie. The one that gave me the biggest laugh. It's the scene where
Is it when he finds out he's a pacifist?
Yeah. It's that one. Hang on, I want to just set this up.
Yep.
So, Wichita and Little Rock leave for a bit because it's kind of what they do. Wichita comes back and says, my sister's gone. She ran off with a boy. And when Tallahassee finds out that he's a pacifist, he starts to freak out. And it reminded me of the. Do you remember in 22 Jump Street when
that scene where when it finally clicks that he slept with the captain's daughter?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that. It was the same thing, but an angry version of it.
Yep. I know. I was actually talking about the scene at the brunch where Ice Cube.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah. Yes.
No, but that and we'll talk about the mid and post credits later. But that scene, Woody Harrelson's freak out, is Oh, did you not stay for the mid credits scene?
I stayed for the mid. Did you say mid and post?
And post, yeah.
I didn't stay for that because they told me there wasn't one. All right. We'll talk about that later. Now I'm angry. Okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say that like the Woody Harrelson freak out scene was what was like probably the biggest laugh that I had in the movie. Just because I saw it coming a little bit, but in the trailer you only see so much. In the whole film, just something about it just worked.
It's basically him beating the shit out of that van because he didn't have his Cadillac in the first one. That's what I accrued it to. He's always got his flip out moment.
Yeah, something I noticed in both a positive and negative way is that a lot of the beats from the first one have been like ramped up to 11 in the sequel.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That will get one teeny negative from me later on. But what was I gonna say? Another thing that I was like, and my youth pastor I was staying with brought this up. He was kind of upset that you were no longer going to have the getting to know each other dynamic between Columbus and Tallahassee. We had a very natural development of now they know each other, and both of them don't fully admit till the end of the movie that they see, at least, that they absolutely love each other. Like Tallahassee talking about his Blackfoot heritage, and he's talking about how I love you, and you really actually listen, and he's just segueing away, doesn't care. And you could tell they absolutely love each other, but they just don't want to admit it. And especially in the scene where frickin' Luke Wilson and Tom Middleditch come as Albuquerque and Flagstaff, and they're just out doing it. I was almost on the floor crying when they were stacking the commandments and the rules on top of each other, and it just didn't stop. And I was just, I was laughing so freaking hard. And just, I could have dealt, I shouldn't say that. They were in there for just long enough, but hearing Luke Wilson and Woody Harrelson bitching at each other for a while was pretty great. And I small positive. I wish that Tallahassee would have let Columbus wear his hat for just a little bit, just to make it.
Yeah,
But
like that.
anyways,
like that could have been a moment saved at the end where after Woody does the that thing.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be a positive. But after he does does the freaking buffalo run, it's just like, are you serious? But then there's part of that scene is a negative for me, but we will get to that. What else? The one of the hardest I laughed was the when they had the RV and its tires get blown out 2 seconds into getting it. And
that
then
was
the hardest I think I laughed is when he chucked the grenade in that transport van. And it just exploded. And they're like, well, you got to go in. And you still there, bud?
Oh, there I am.
Okay, when he chucked the grenade in that transport van, I laugh so freaking hard, and then it leads up to the like no weapons allowed, and they're like, I'm not giving my weapons up, it's not happening. And then Eisenberg's like, well, you can just wait in the car, and then you look back and it's just a flaming pile of rubble. But one positive that I did not know about, and I will bring it up now, is there we go. That's what I wanted. I did not know this. What are you doing? Stop this. All right. This right here, that they talked about how in the story that whole lengthy monologue between Harrelson and Dawson about the whole story with him doing the Elvis impersonation in the library was actually true. And even the name of the girl that he was talking about was actually her name. So he was shouting her out that was a big thing. And he even like told her that she was her inspiration for wanting to try and become an actor. I was like,
that's really cool. I love
like,
when actors I love when actors like put a little bit of like themselves in the character, not necessarily playing themselves, but when the opportunity arises in that kind of moment, those are the small touches that I just love.
Oh yeah, and I never would have known that if someone wouldn't have not done an interview. I was just like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" But all right. Is there any big other positives you want to get? Oh well, the credit scene that I saw that we actually got to see, and I didn't, and you get to see Bill Murray just wreck house a little bit and run through a couple of his one-liners, like "I ain't afraid of no ghosts," and. Thought I had to sneeze. Hold on. But it was funny that I noticed it more the second time. That's supposed to be when Al Roker is supposed to play Patient Zero. And that is supposed to be day one of the zombie apocalypse. And then it's been going for, how long was it in Zombieland 1?
I don't remember. I think it was like a few months.
A few months.
Either weeks or months.
A few months. Bill Murray looks like he's 30 years older in the day one incident of the zombie apocalypse than when he was 2 months after it happens.
Yeah, that's kind of hilarious.
He like Benjamin Button hardcore. Like in the episode, just like, I didn't think about that until someone said something. I was like, you're good. That's a good point. They really didn't consider that, but I was just happy to see it. Can you tell me what this other credit scene was?
Okay, I'll be honest. You didn't miss that much. It's just it's similar to the post-credit scene in the first Zombieland, where it's just like a little extra bit with Bill Murray.
Okay.
Okay. Really, all it is like the interviewer wants Bill Murray to do like a hairball.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. You didn't miss much.
Oh, it's just an extension of the
Yeah.
other scene, kind of. Okay, all right, then I'm not upset about that. All right, that's fine.
Hold on,
any
but can I, one small
What?
thing about the mid credits scene, my favorite moment, Grace Randolph getting her head smashed by two plates.
That was awesome. Yes, it was. And the fact that they again, with bringing back jokes, they harp on so much that Bill Murray is just dead inside if you bring up Garfield. He is he hates it so much. They went even like they bring up the trilogy, Godfather, Lethal Weapon, everyone needs to have their trilogy, and he's just like, they bring up the coffee, just like, are you actually kidding me? Come on. I'm trying to think if, like, without going through every single joke, if there isn't something. Okay, the one thing we didn't mention, they actually, and this is going to become a negative later on, that they came classifications for zombies. That I thought was really cool. The Homer, the Hawking, and the Ninja.
Yep.
Was that the third one? Yeah, and then
Yep.
the T-800.
The T-800.
I liked, or the, was it Bolts? Was the other name that they came up for it? Yeah.
That's the one that Albuquerque and Flagstaff came up with.
Yeah. Do you have any other big ones other than just basically running through every joke in the movie?
I think we covered all the important stuff.
Okay. If we're going to talk about negatives, and there's not many, they're tiny and they are minuscule. One, going right off the T-800s, I really thought they could have done more with that than just mowing down a giant trunk of them in a truck. I was hoping they were actually going to have like 2 or 3 of them and they have like a big thing, and that will bleed into my other negative. Is I liked that they tried to do something really different for the ending with the explosion, all that in the trap.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like they kind of just had one cool idea and it zipped through it really quick. I hoped that would have been expanded just a titch.
Yeah, I can agree with that a little bit.
But
what I said before about like bits from the original kind of blown up to 11. This is one of those examples. You know, like it reminded me a little bit of the climax from the first Zombieland. You know, with the zombies all piled up.
Yeah, it felt like they had that one better planned out too, with everything in the theme park.
This one seemed a little bit rushed. And I think if they had a little bit more of a budget to work with, they could have cleaned it up better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
The negative that I have is, I think like cinematography wise, I think the first movie looks a little bit better. It felt a little bit more cinematic.
Yes. And going on with that, this had one problem that I had for a while with the seasons post 5 of Supernatural. They literally had darker lighting in the first 5 episodes of Supernatural, and it made it feel more creepy. Then when they started to get a little bit more of a budget, they got I don't know if it was nicer cameras, but they had better lighting and all this stuff, and it made the whole thing look brighter, and it made it feel less like it was a horror movie. This one had increasingly darker lighting in the first movie versus this one that was a lot more brighter. It still did the same stuff, but it was more like poppy. And I kind of missed that it looked like that in the first movie. I don't know if that's just me, but
for some reason
it seemed different to me.
For some reason, I thought the first one was shot on film as opposed to digital, but nope, both of them are shot in digital. So it's just a matter of lighting and like different people actually doing the cinematography.
Yeah, that's for sure. Man, I think I got this list written down. I'm trying to think if I had any other negatives. No, not. Um, yeah, I really don't. I don't have that many things for negatives. It was good. It ran through some jokes. They just I could have a whole movie of just Woody Harrelson being mad about things like him just like the van, Graceland, losing the RV, freaking Little Rock being gone, all this like and another positive. They actually like had a little bit like character development between Wichita and Columbus where they had them actually
Mhm.
like getting together. The stupid amount of jokes they got out of them just being in the White House was ridiculous.
Yeah, they packed a lot into like that. What was it? Like 20 minutes?
It maybe so much. And like then like another positive I forgot the cute little moment where she kept his revolver and all that other little stuff and the zombie kill of the century with him leading them
Mhm.
all off of the end there and help me out here. And he's credited as the credits for this movie are hilarious. Babylonian gatekeeper, Civil War bearded guy, bowel blast guy, cool hat guy, terrified woman in snow, Homer zombie in snow, and then the rest are the state or city named people. But um Victor Rivera, the Civil War bearded guy, what do I know him from?
Um, that's a good question. Is he the guy? Is he the guy who said like no group sex?
And then was very open for group sex later on. Like I feel like I know him from something, but I can't think of it. He reminds me of an actor in a single episode of Supernatural, but that's not him. But I either way, I don't know what the heck I would know him from, but he seemed super familiar. But
Have you ever watched the show Good Girls?
I have not.
Okay, then yeah, he's
Then you got nothing.
um I'm looking on his IMDb and it's a bunch of bit roles.
Got it. All right. Oh, that's fine. Um, let's see. What else to talk about? The they I understand why this took 10 years. I hope that this gets a sequel and it doesn't take another 10. But if it did and we got a sequel because of that reason, I'd be very happy. Obviously, Woody's going to be very busy with Venom.
Mm-hmm.
But just I enjoyed it a lot. It was more of the same. That's what I wanted, and it had some tweaks, but it's a good solid 8 out of 10 in my opinion.
I have two ratings for mine. On Letterboxd, I did give it a 5 out of 5 because for being a sequel to the original Zombieland, I think it's kind of perfect.
Yeah.
But objectively, I'd probably give it about an 8 or 9. It's not quite as good as like some other comedies this year. Like I think Booksmart is still kind of my top tier of for comedies. But this was still a fun time from start to finish.
You know, it's one of my favorite comedies of this year, and you're never going to guess what it is. It Chapter 2.
You know what? I rewatched that last night, and yeah, I can see it.
I laughed a stupid out of that movie. Bill Hader is awesome.
I love Bill Hader,
and it gets gift to infinity. But I see it on Twitter and Tumblr, and like I'm on a Facebook break right now, and I see it all the time. Just that moment where he gets pissed and he turns around and he like is get ready to swing and he drops and his face hits the deadlights. He goes, that face he does is just so perfect. I full of tears on the floor laughing every time I see it. It's just it's so good. But anyway, yeah, this was good. It's more of it's hard for me not to like something with Woody Harrelson in it. So
mm-hmm.
Yeah, go see it if you like the first one. It's a little different, but not much.
Yeah,
That's
if you're a fan of the first one, you kind of have to see this.
yeah, it's and support it because if you want more of it, that's the only way it's gonna get made. And
Exactly.
right now, Joker is slaughtering everything else, which brings us to something Mike wanted to talk about. So I will get that if you wanna let the kiddos know. Yeah, there we go.
Um, yeah. So Joker is slaying at the box office. It's now the what third highest grossing R-rated film of all time.
I think it's according to this article, I think it's in second technically. Deadpool 1 has 783 million. Oh, wait, hold on. It's technically in second place by $0.5 million because
Wow.
Deadpool 1 has 783. Deadpool 2 was 738 before a cut. Oh, I take that back. Technically has made more than Deadpool 1 did, but that's plus the gross earnings from the PG-13. But without it, it's only made 738. With it, it made 2
Right.
million more than Deadpool did. But right now, Joker stands at 737.5 million dollars.
Now on the one
It's
hand, this is the Joker. He's the iconic Batman villain. So of course it was going to make money, but did you ever think this movie would make it over 500 million?
no, and I guess adjusted for inflation, supposedly I think Passion of the Christ has made more. Because don't they even bring it up as a joke in Deadpool 2?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. But no, I thought it was going to make like right around just below 400. When your movie costs 55 million to make, that's really good. But there's a chance this freaking movie, if it keeps the staying power that it has, or gets any form of re-release, could make $1 billion. That's more than that. Like the only thing that would beat that out of the current run of DC movies is Aquaman.
How crazy is that?
Tell me ago that statement was ever going to get made. Like, are you kidding me? Ant-Man is making more than most DC films are. Oh, yeah.
We are living in crazy times.
We are. And we wanted to bring that up, but I guess we could bring up another thing since technically we could make this just our DC news hour. We brought up Zoe Kravitz last time, which I don't know how either of us didn't think that the fact that now Aquaman's stepdaughter is Catwoman.
Yeah, that family just taken over.
It has. And now Jonah Hill is no longer being circled for a role because now Paul Dano is the Riddler. I have
In
no
hindsight,
comment.
I think this is better.
Not
that I would have had a problem with Jonah Hill. I think he's an incredible actor when he puts forth the effort.
Exactly.
But Paul Dano is seriously one of the most underrated character actors ever. If you want proof of that, watch Prisoners, where he gets beat up by Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman.
Yep. I was going to say that is the only point of reference I have for him.
I had a few others. I had There Will Be Blood, and a movie that came out.
Oh yeah, he is. Wow, I forgot all about that. Keep going. Sorry.
The other ones I had were Little Miss Sunshine, again a movie with Abigail Breslin.
Yep.
And a movie that came out in 2016 called Swiss Army Men with Daniel Radcliffe.
Okay.
So yeah, he's got a lot of a lot of range in those like sort of dark, off kilter kind of characters, and I'm excited to see what he brings to the Riddler.
I am too. I'm also starting to realize that I just don't recognize him in the movies that he's in because he was also in 12 Years a Slave and Looper. According to his IMDb page, anyway.
I kind of knew about 12 Years a Slave. I completely forgot he was in Looper. But that just shows what a chameleon he is.
Well. Yeah, he is. And speaking of Prisoners, that is a movie that I have never watched again because it made me feel uncomfortable, and I can't watch it again unless somebody else wants to watch it. I've never had a movie do that to me before where I just... Joker came close, but Prisoners made me feel filthy after I was done watching it. Like, him shoving... Hugh Jackman shoving him in that shower and just, like, hotboxing him and beating the tar out of him. That whole... Wow.
I don't think I'll ever forget that scene. Like even as you brought it up, like the image just came rushing back in.
Yeah, it's bad, man. That whole movie, and like Jake Gyllenhaal's really good in it. There is a scene where he magically somehow gets not clipped in the head and like gets shot past his eyeball, and someone doesn't get killed by that grandma button. Beside that, that movie's amazing. Yeah, there's also that Riddler that Seth Rogen might be the Penguin. God, I hope that's not true. But beside that, is there anything else that came up that you wanna?
We could talk about Francis Ford Coppola's Marvel comments, but I don't want to go there.
Yeah, let's also talk about another random person who goes, yeah, them young whippersnappers, since we don't make movies that make a lot of money anymore and the theaters care about money now, we can't get our movies made, so let's piss on all the people that make the money. Really? Really? Mr. Coppola, who also talked about he badly wanted to see a scene from Black Panther because he thought it was so beautiful and well done. Funny how you didn't say this until somebody else said it. I'm sorry, Scorsese, that you have to make your movies go on Netflix now, but it's not, you're not making bad movies, but it's crazy how businesses care when your movies make more than others. Say what you want about Disney having crazy requirements to put your movie in the theater for a certain amount of time, but it kind of does well for them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying they made just shy of $4 billion this past year, but they made just shy of... No, they actually did. Didn't Marvel, Far From Home,
Captain Marvel,
make $1 billion?
Toy Story 4, Aladdin,
Toy Story 4,
Lion King.
Did all of them gross a...
Yep.
So like what, $7 billion roughly?
Mm-hmm.
Because Endgame made 2.5?
Something like that.
Or what is it? And then Marvel and Spider-Man both made $1 billion each. Toy Story, I can't think off the top of my head how much it made. Lion King made
billion.
There you go. They made roughly probably around $6 to $7 billion. I'm sorry. Those are movies that come out yearly that make $1 billion. Both Coppola and Scorsese don't make movies yearly. And they don't make near $1 million. They don't need to be good movies. But again, that's the world it is now. They don't allow mid-tier movies.
Yeah, it's sad but true.
You can't help it. And just because your movie isn't like it's taking over cinemas, I get that, dude, but just be happy that movies are out. Your movie's not getting helped by you bashing on other people. All it is doing is getting people that don't know literally what the hell they're talking about going, Scorsese's talking the hard truths. I tell you, this thing with them Marvel movies, I'm like, name 4 movies Scorsese's made. I don't know, but I think I could be cool talking about Marvel movies. I'm like, this just creates stupid fanboys saying things they don't need to just to make them think they're cool. It's bringing back movie hipsters, and I hate it. Absolutely hate it.
It's a mess on both sides.
I can't remember who it was. There was some article that brought up, and I'm pretty sure it was an Onion. I don't know if it was Alfred Hitchcock or somebody else. They're like his ghost came back to join the team to rip on Marvel movies. It's like, come on, man. And who was it? It wasn't James Gunn. It was it Kevin Smith that was saying that Coppola made the what did he say?
He said Martin Scorsese made like the best superhero movie of all time, and he was talking about Last Temptation of Christ.
Yes, exactly. I was like, just gotta change the subject matter a little bit, bro. Like, why weren't you saying this for the past 10 years? Why are you only saying it when The Irishman's coming out? It's like, come on, man. It's all circumstantial. I guarantee you, if a movie wasn't coming out, this crap wouldn't have gotten said.
He definitely said it at a press conference for The Irishman.
Exactly. It's just trying to build publicity. If you truly cared, you don't say it when it only helps you. If it's a cause you care about, you say it to help the cause, and you don't bring it up just to bolster yourself. That is a surefire 1000% way to show I truthfully don't care about this enough to talk about it unless it's going to bolster something I'm doing by making a media shitstorm about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's a well-respected dude. If just one day, 2 years from now, after The Irishman had already came out, and he just went, I'm really not a big fan of Marvel movies, without also saying the fact that he has not seen a good chunk of them. That didn't help his statement either. And you just went, yeah, I'm not a big fan of them. I've seen a good portion of them, and I just tell you, in my opinion, that's not what cinema should be. He would have been wrong.
Mm-hmm. Instead, he shot himself in the foot twice.
Yeah, exactly. And are we not going to bring up that Mr. Coppola's kin and, descendant, Mr. Nicolas Cage, brought in an Oscar-winning performance twice in superhero movies and Ghost Rider? Are we just going to forget that little gem happened?
Or that he helped finance a film by a sexual predator?
Yeah. But don't worry. At least it wasn't a Marvel movie. Because that's so much worse. And if that was brought up, I can guarantee you now, that doesn't involve the subject that we're talking about, so I don't care. Neither do Marvel movies and the movie you're making right now. Just stupid. It's culture that we're helping feed with these freaking statements, but it's just, there can never be a middle ground in anything anymore. You're either
extreme one way or extreme the other.
And I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Everyone, it is either you made god-awful trash garbage, or it is the next Shawshank Redemption. Almost most people, you're good about explaining why you give high scores, and that's perfectly fine. But you don't go claiming every movie needs to have an Oscar. Nobody can describe a movie, and I'm going to go on a soapbox for a minute here, so deal with me. Nobody ever can say they dislike a movie without saying it is hot trash garbage that got shit out by somebody that didn't care, was just a cash grab. Guess what? Every movie ever made is a cash grab. Mm-hmm. And they just did it because, well, this is what's going to make them money, and they want to be popular, and it's the only thing you do. Or it is Oscar worthy. It should be hailed. It was perfectly crafted by God himself, set into a cinema so that everyone can enjoy it on its majesty on high, and it will be set in cinema history next to freaking every Hitchcockian classic, everything. It's perfect. There cannot be just it was okay. I enjoyed it. You can't do that. Why? Because you don't get a freaking headline that's worthy of clicks that way, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah, the media with their sensationalism. Every time I read an article from basically any publication, I usually just roll my eyes.
And it is, and they can't just talk about a movie to talk about a movie. The article that drove me nuts, and it's what made me think that it is never going to change for as long as the duration that I am on this earth. There was multiple news sites running on their top story to get them clicks. Do you know if Joker had an end credit scene? Why? What do people care that much? Are you kidding me? You could take 2 seconds and you're wanting people to read a whole article? And the sad part is people are stupid enough to read that. You're just giving them money to click it, close it, when you could have just went Google. Oh, nope, there wasn't one. That's headline news? We got horrendously off topic. Go watch Zombieland 2.
Yeah, do that.
Please. Doctor Sleep. That the next one?
I think Dark Fate is the week before.
Is it?
Yeah, that's November 1st.
You are completely right. It's the 11th for Sleep, right?
The 8th.
8th. What am I thinking? Okay, that one's going to be late because I'm going to be at a Comic-Con that weekend. So that one's going to be in the middle of the week the next week. That one's going to be a little bit late. But
yeah, we'll work something out.
We'll work something out. But anyways, you guys, thank you. I'm sorry I rambled, but I needed to get that rant recorded on something, and it unfortunately got dropped in here. This one was going to be a lot shorter, but like I said, hour, and we got through the movie crap load faster than I thought we were going to. Again, if you are watching this channel, you know where to find me because you're here. Mike, where can they find you and what are you up to?
You can find all my my reviews, my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com / at Coach K42. Find me on Twitter, Captain K42, and look for Michael K in all the various Facebook groups.
Yes. And again, the other thing that's coming up, and Colton was messaging me the entire time about it, is the crossover. We are covering it. Man, is it getting more and more in my head that I'm just like, how much crap am I actually going to have to watch to make sure that I cover this freaking thing correctly? It's going to be coming. That's going to be a big thing. Don't expect that to be one video after all of it. It's going to be done in parts because I'm not uploading a... Go ahead.
This thing is going to be probably one of the biggest events in television history, which is weird for the CW, but, you know, there are non-Arrowverse fans talking about it, so expect it to be big.
Expect it to be big and expect it to keep coming, because I thought that the CW shows might start filtering to DC, and now there's rumors that the Stargirl show is going to end up on the CW. So it might start coming the other way. So my hope of it decreasing so that we could do an Arrowverse show down the line just went right out the freaking window. All right, everyone. Before we ramble on more, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you guys for Terminator Dark Fate. Toodaloo! And